Yo, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason and the host of the ZOWHAT Morning Show. First and foremost, let me thank everyone who's donated to the GoFundMe page. But I have some bad news to report. One of our biggest donations has proven to be fraudulent. And of course, they took that out of our account earlier today. I'm really disappointed about it. They said it was some fraudulent activity that happened on the GoFundMe page, and it kind of hurt my heart because I knew it was kind of too good to be true when we got these huge donations maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but now one of them has proven to be fraudulent, and I'm thinking that the other 3 may also be found that way as well. Needless to say, my goodness, we are in need of those donations to keep the high quality production that we do going. I don't know what to say about, who's responsible for it. I just know we got to keep pushing. I just know I cannot be stopped because of something like this. I just ask that everybody come together, coalesce around this cause, and donate to www.gofundme.com/Zoe Williams. If you appreciate the work we do and you love the shows that we produce, please, out of the kindness of your heart, continue to support. Thank you so much, and we'll keep it coming. Deuces.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm a relationship hacker.
Run up and get touched up, suicide. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail. Run up and get touched up, suicide, that's it. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ZOWHAT Morning Show back in the building. Dash Radio. You already know what it is. We only do this show once a week, so we gotta come with that fire every time. I got my homies in the house, but you already know, before we even get to the topic, the community empowerment segment is a must. Let me do this real quick. I got a couple of products that I need to highlight today that I think are very important. Let me do this one first. The relationship dismount. How to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship. My latest book came out in 2015? Very powerful work. Relationship workbook. Exercises at the end of all 12 chapters. You should check it out. Getting a lot of positive reviews for it. Go to my website, IamZoeWilliams.com. Frank, pull up the website. Let everybody see where they could go get this
right now.
Also, don't front on it. You gotta do a pre-order for my next book, The Holographic Relationship. That will be out, I'm hoping November, Kev.
It's taking so long with the edit.
The edit is cold. That's the hardest part of a book.
I know.
And with the information that I'm dealing with, man, fact checking, and I can't put out no
bullshit.
No bullshit. Man, I can't do it.
This nigga Zoe with that bullshit.
I cannot do it, man. I cannot. So I'm just making sure that I'm putting out the right information, because it's some detailed stuff in there. And, I'm making parallels, between, parallel metaphors. So it's very important that I make sure that this is Trump type. But yo, you gotta go support. Here go the homie right now.
Baby.
Man. So you ain't gonna text me and let me know? Okay. I knew he was coming. He always here on time. He ain't never late.
If I don't text you, that means I'm coming.
Is that what that means? My homeboy Hassan.
If I don't text you, that means I'm coming. Yes.
Hey, listen.
Thank you in your mouth. Thank you.
I want to promote Android Ohm. luxury shoe line, black-owned business. Designed here in Los Angeles by a brother. High-end luxury shoe line. Were the shoes dope, Kev?
Yeah, boy.
Them shoes ain't dope, man. Them shoes ain't no game.
Nah, that ain't no joke.
So don't go in there asking for the homie love, friend, hookup. They done already gave you a ZOWHAT discount for 25%.
20% discount on a 50%.
They done already did that. Don't go in there and be like, can I get it? You know what pissed
20
me
on
off?
a 50.
Let me tell you what pissed me off. They go in there, they see the shoes are expensive. These shoes too goddamn expensive. While Jordans are on their feet.
$200 Jordans.
Like, how did that happen?
$200 Jordans.
You got on some $200. Well, these are $200 more. Aren't you saving for some Gucci's? Can we just? I mean, it's oxymoronic, right? But this brother got high-end kicks, and he's doing well. Shoes are in Saks Fifth Avenue. They right next to the Gucci's you're saving for.
You're saving for.
That's crazy, man. Please continue to support AndroidHome.com. That's Android, HOMME.com. The brother stuff is really, really nice. Also, look what I brought in today, Kev.
Why you pointing at me?
Cause you the one be
No,
trying
I'm
to
not
steal.
doing no.
You a thief.
Full of shit.
Total package energy shots. Listen, man, my homeboy Anthony Eagleton out of Oakland. Y'all don't understand. This right here, I had one of these this morning, so I'm a little turned.
Oh. There it is.
Here, kid, why not, man? I feel like sharing today,
You
huh?
Santa Claus today.
You know you want one.
Nigga Claus. We got
I'll
nigga
take
Claus
one.
in the house.
You gonna be up all night though.
You gonna be up now. this right here, you gonna be up. I'm sharing total package energy shot.
That's a first.
Okay.
This ain't no first.
Is it a special Monday or something?
Okay, now it's a special Monday. I'm sharing because y'all say I don't, but I do.
Where did we get that mythology from?
Right. I do share these, man. And this is the last box, so I felt, all right.
Damn. Last box.
It's gonna be nigga Claus today.
Nigga Claus. No, I promise though. I promise. This is the best energy shot on the market. It's better than Red Bull. If Red Bull gives you wings, this gives you jets. I promise you. What is it? He said it's a energy boost, neural enhancer, stamina sustainer, antioxidant, zero sugar, zero carbs, zero rush, zero jitters, zero crash, enriched with vitamins, natural ingredients, and amino acids. I mean, I'm cool with it.
Hey,
I'm cool with it.
me too.
You know, I ain't gonna drive down the block without one. I might fall asleep. Good stuff. TotalPackageEnergy.com. Oh, you also got to go to TriumphBeyondDesigns.com. Very important. They built my website. Brothers out of this brother. He's from New York, I think, but now he's down in the Maryland area. Him and his wife, they moved down to the Maryland area. Good brother, Jarrell Whitfield, right?
That's who was coming.
Man, he's a spoken word artist. He's an author, and he just so happens to do killer websites. TriumphBeyondDesigns.com. Get over there, support the whole movement. Also, my cousin, Kenneth Boggs Suits, just got married. Shout out to Kenneth Boggs, July 7th. Just got married. You know, shout out to the brother. You know, he got a lot of celebrity clients, but you know he just paid for a wedding. Y'all need to go on over there and get your tailored suits together.
They got bills.
He got to recoup.
They got some wedding bills.
He got to recoup. You feel me? You're under dig. He got to recoup. New Republic West. This is Minister Tony Muhammad's company. From the Nation of Islam, West Coast representative of the Nation of Islam. New is spelled N-U New Republic West. They do accounting, insurance, lending, credit. They do your taxes. These are people you got to get with. New Republic West. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. I'm rocking Power in One. You like that red, black, and green Power hat? All these Power TV show fans out here, right? And somebody thought it was a Power TV show. No, this is some PIOclothing.com. I'm wearing one of their t-shirts, Afro Cool. I think it's cool. I'm wearing some Ramo Mar, the Ramo Mar bomber jacket. Y'all got to get out there and support all of these companies, man. Also, special shout out. I'm serious right now. Y'all been slacking on your candy crack. I need everybody to get to Shepherd's Sweets right now.
Yes.
We need to put her ass in the kitchen and lock her to the stove. So she can
chain her to the stove.
Chain her to the stove. This candy is ridiculous.
It is.
Shepherd's Sweets.
You need to send some.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Promotional, brother.
I know. Shepherd Sweets. ShepherdSweets.com. Some of the best candy in the world. Homemade candy. It's amazing. Toffee. She does cakes. All types of stuff. All types of bakeries. Is that what you call them? Baking goodies?
Whatever you want to call it.
But that candy is crack.
Baked
for
goods,
sure. Baked goods. Shepherd Sweets is to get down. One final thing to promote on my end. Mind-blowing mobile apps. Wanda Trotter. She did mine. My app is ridiculous. It's on iTunes. What is it? Is it iTunes or the iStore? iStore. I always say it wrong. iStore. Right? It's on iStore and it's also on Google
the iTunes
Play. iStore.
That's what it's called, iStore?
Is it the App Store? Shut up, Kevin. I did. It's the App Store. Got me in here looking crazy. All right, it's the App Store. Zoe Williams, no spaces. Download it right now. Google Android, download it as well. And please, just download my app so you can see the quality of her work. And I promise you, she undercharges. She really does. She undercharges. If you're a business, you can't be doing really good business without an app. The app is the new website. Sorry. That's where, online shopping, everybody's on their phone. 88% of the listeners of Dash Radio are listening through the app on their phone. So come on now. Don't play yourself. Mind-blowing mobiles. You got to get with her. Kev, I know you got something to promote. What is it?
Cop Stop Guardian. So everybody, I got a challenge for everybody. The app that we need, it takes very special encoding. So, it's going to cost up there, but actually we're still getting a deal. Excuse me. We're getting a deal on the app. So the app is going to cost us $15,000. And what I noticed is we have at least 30,000 people subscribed to the channel. So I got the $1 challenge. I need at least half of you to donate $1.
You got 30,000 subscribers?
Yeah, you got 30,000 subscribers.
Oh, you mean
partner?
I got 30,000?
I said the show got got 30,000 subscribers.
Let's just make sure we know.
Look here, ego nigga. But at least I need at least half of you to donate $1. I mean, half of you. I would like all of you to donate $1, but half of you can donate $1 to help your own asses out. So get to GoFundMe.com/CopStopGuardian if you want to save your own ass. Also, on my Real Nagas YouTube channel.
Wait, do me a favor, Kev. Explain the app real quick, one more time. So, what is the purpose of the app? Let's set this up.
The app is basically your own 911 at a traffic stop. So you get pulled over, you click on the app connects you to a call center, and the operator comes on, and this operator will be well versed in traffic stop procedure as well as civil rights law, so that they'll know when the officer is abusing their authority. And there'll be audio and video recording for both parties, so both parties can go home safely. And they're just a mediator because most people don't know the law. So this operator will help mediate the stop between you and the officer. And so you get to go home safely.
Nice. Hassan? I'm sorry, go ahead.
So on the Real Nagas YouTube channel, I got a mini series. The first episode is wordplay. I just put it up a couple days ago. I was getting some good response, so go out and check that out. It's basically breaking down the etymology that we do on the show, but also the history.
I heard about it. People have been talking about it.
Oh, word? Oh, what's up?
Look at you, PM.
So
Timmy Tight Top. Go ahead and flex.
that's
flex
him.
on him.
Go ahead, do
no,
some
it's-
push-ups right
Young
now.
Pharaoh got one of them
I
tight
do some
muscle
other, I
shirts
do
on
some
too.
other shit too.
He lifting weights. I always talk shit about the niggas with
But
muscles.
yeah, go check out the wordplay miniseries. That first episode of Wordplay on the Real Naggas YouTube channel and on realnaggas.com for the gear, the Dragon Moor, the Phoenix Moor, and the Native Amaru Khan gear, which I got the shirt on today. Check it out. So go cop that, please.
All right. So Hassan, promote the juices real quick.
All right. Weed juice.
Juice, Hassan.
Wait, I'm sorry that I forgot your green juice. I was in a rush because I have to make 250 juices today.
Hey,
for this
did you bring some
no
turmeric?
I forgot
see?
that
Did
too
you bring
today.
some ginger grenades?
well,
Bring none of that.
Ginger grenades,
slipping.
turmeric. We still got that on the menu. You can always order all that. We got the coconuts. You know, coconuts is out of season, but they're good for hydration.
Yes.
Coconut is good, though.
One quick story though. When I was a kid, I found a 2-story house.
You remember that
building?
story?
Yes.
That's a long time ago.
My brother Alcus bumped me out the window, and I fell down. Most kids, when they fall out buildings, they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
That's because they're hydrated and stuff. So Kevin got this water next to me and stuff. So the importance of drinking water is very important to drink at least about a gallon of water a day, especially to lose weight and to be fit,
So you
to be
said
healthy.
if you drink a gang of water and hydrate yourself,
Your body's be
you
more
bouncy.
buoyant. You're bouncy.
Yes.
Boy, get the hell out of here.
Like a balloon, nigga.
Thanks for supporting Weed Juice though, but go on the site, get some Weed Juice. ZOWHAT's the code, get 10% off when you order Weed Juice. And get your 3-day cleanse, always in your weight loss program.
Hold on, I just gotta make sure the brother over here gets some juice. Y'all just let the man pick.
You took his juice. Hey, you want
Let me see.
Which one you want, man? Hey, listen, that's the community empowerment. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back with today's topic and today's guest. It's gonna be crazy. I'll be back at 2.2 ZOWHAT Morning. It's about to go down. Radio talk. We'll be back. Yeah, DJ Julian Ramirez on the ones and twos with that. That's some early 2000s mix right there. Jesus, late 90s, early 2000s. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, you already know what it's about. The ZOWHAT Morning Show is in the building. Time for deep topics, heavy topics that only this august panel could field and tackle. We were waiting for one of our high generals to arrive, and he's here.
Come on.
Sir Weed-A-Lot.
I am a general and I am high.
In the building.
Come on.
Let me hit you with today's topic. Very important for us to cover right now.
Hit him with it.
You feel like rapping. I can see it's coming.
Yep.
All right. Today's topic. What are the top 5 issues facing African Americans' collective progress? What are the big 5
5, 4, 3, 2,
that are holding us back? And here's the major question. Is it too late in the game to even ask what are the top 5?
Niggas trying to shoot 40 at the end of the game.
Listen, it's so much going on right now. I don't mean to dogpile on nobody, but we heard about the Usher Raymond situation, right? With the herpes situation. Now in America, everybody knows the numbers. What did they say? 67% of the population of America infected with herpes.
Right?
1 out of every 4 person.
No, 85% is affected with the one virus. You may be carrying but not be able to show it. But 85%.
You know I got it then.
So watch. So watch. What's crazy is, let me set the show up, guys. You know, you guys like to talk about.
I'm sorry.
You were giving out stats, so I had to correct this.
Listen, I didn't have to correct that, or you didn't have to correct that. God damn it!
Preach the word.
Turn his mic off.
Preach the word. Preach the word.
I'm gonna yell over the mic.
I don't give a shit.
No, but that's the round number. We do know that there are different simplexes. We're talking about that the one is 67%. 67%. Now, talking about the one I'm talking about, nigga. Not the one you talking about. The one I'm talking about is 67%. Okay? The one that's obvious. Not the hidden one, my nigga.
Yeah, the one on your face. That's
So let me come back to that. So let's get that out the way. That's a problem. And that's just not an African American problem, but it seems like African Americans get hit harder. You understand? Like when we think about Atlanta.
If America got the sniffles, black folks got AIDS.
That's my point. Think about Atlanta. Atlanta's a hot spot for STDs right now. So that's an issue facing African Americans.
How about it?
Right? I said before the show started earlier today, I was talking to young Pharaoh, our special guest, young Pharaoh in the building. I said, black people tend to fear the doctor in much the same way they fear the police officer or court. Especially black men. Men be like, I ain't fucking with you.
You ain't got nothing but bad news.
Right.
I know.
So-
I ain't doing nothing but eating this pork chops and shit. You finna tell me I'm ready for a triathlon after the shit I did last weekend?
Right. So that's an issue. Then when we bring Antonio Moore up in here, Antonio Moore will point out the fact that 88% of all the wealth in America is in the hands of white folk. Only 2.6% of the wealth is in the hands of black people, which is why Antonio Moore went in on Jay-Z about I bought $1 million painting. You know how rare that is for black people to just go buy $1 million painting or I could have bought this building in Dumbo for $2 million and now it's worth 25. I feel like a Dumbo. Well, when is the last time you seen just a regular black family with $2 million liquid?
I'm gonna hit that back when we get into it.
I know. We know you. So there are issues out there. How is inequality an issue? All of these issues I wanted to point out. What are the 5 biggest problems facing black people in America? I always say relationship is one. There's a hella disconnect on the relationship side of the game. There's a hella disconnect.
I would agree.
Shit.
Most definitely.
What about church? Is church a problem or is it a good thing? Because church is in that gray area.
Both.
Problem.
Problem?
Straight problem.
Oh, here we go. It's about to go down, ladies and gentlemen. True or false, the war on drugs, which began in the 1980s, is the leading cause of high rate of incarceration among African Americans, especially males. The war on drugs. Nixon, then picked up by Reagan, then picked up by Clinton, then picked up by Bush. I'm just asking. Jesus Christ. What's the biggest problem? We got guests in here right now to deal with it. We got Kevin. We got Jeff Brown.
What's up?
And we got the homie Young Pharaoh in the building. I'm going to go to Young Pharaoh first, man. What do you think is the biggest issue facing African Americans today? Our collective progress. What's holding us back the most?
An incorrect perspective on life. I don't think that, what's wrong with black people is what it is that they've incorrectly identified it to be. I don't think police brutality or any of that is what's wrong with black people, and I'm going to make my point because I don't want nobody to think I'm saying nothing crazy. I think that,
You sound like you dead on
I think that black people's problem is they keep asking somebody for something that they know damn well they're not going to get. So I think that it's like being in an abusive relationship. If your man keep beating on you and you ask him to stop, he don't stop. If you stay with him, you beating on yourself. So, police is not brutalizing black people. Black people are brutalizing we're brutalizing our own selves because we refuse to take the mass amount of wealth that we generate and build something for ourselves. So I think that black people's number one problem is the lack of will to do for themselves, which is due to an incorrect perspective. We come to worship everyone's creations but our own, and then we ask people to tweak problems that they're not going to tweak because the problem is ours, it's not theirs. So I think that, there's a laziness that has been developed due to people becoming dependent and reliant on a comfortable situation. If you have a government that'll pay your bills, help you out with your utilities, give you Section 8, put a roof over your head, give you food stamps, you become so comfortable that you become lazy. And then when somebody say, do something for yourself or do something otherwise, we get this mentality where it's like, well, nigga, that's too hard, that's too much work. So I think that, what we do put our energy into, we could be utilizing that energy somewhere else. People go to Magic City every weekend, throw millions of dollars, and then you want to sit here and complain that the community look crazy. While you walking up this goddamn street and there's a house is abandoned, but you got $100,000 goddamn car parked on right in front of the house, the complaint is kind of null and void. So I think that, the number one problem with black people is we don't see the greatness that we generate And in the greatness in ourselves that we do see, we just give it away. So, you know, we got NBA players, NFL players, all of these so-called celebrities who have all of this wealth, but, you know, they don't use that wealth to do nothing positive. And people in the community that may not be famous, but they might be getting money, whether you hustling or you doing whatever you're doing. We don't use those people don't use the money to do nothing positive. And this is all due to an incorrect perspective. So I think the number one problem with black people is we fail to take responsibility for what we can control, and we're too busy worried about what we can't control. So if we create a community that's safe for ourselves, we won't have to worry about nobody policing it, because it'll be our community. They got towns right now. You can buy a town for $300,000. So you got all these rappers on motherfucking, you know, TV talking about my car is worth $2 million. Why didn't you buy a town and move your family to the town and make it, you know, solar energy sufficient and people can live off well water? So if we really talking about, you know, changing people's lives, let's do it. You know, we have the ability to do it. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, we ain't got no money, we broke. Because when Christmas come around, we $1 trillion industry. When it's time to get that hair done, when it's trying to put that weave in your head, we $1 trillion industry. When the new J's came out last month, but they came out again this month and it's another goddamn color, same damn style. We $1 trillion industry. So I don't think that police brutality is the problem. I think the problem is that we're allowing police brutality by not creating a safe environment for our own selves. And if we want to make any complaint as far as what it is we're experiencing, we have to also make the complaint to ourselves that we do have the ability to change our circumstances. We're just not taking advantage of that. So if you can watch Love and Hip Hop and put your attention into that, and then you watch your community and then you don't put no effort into that, the problem is you.
Come up for air. Let him come up for air.
Young man.
Woo!
Let me start here. You have just saved about 40 white lives because I was just gonna run into some place where white folks go, I don't know, a Birkenstock store, and just start shooting.
Yeah,
don't do that.
You young man, represent hope, which is a dirty 4-letter word for me. I don't like the word hope. I prefer the word plan. But to look and see young black people, because that's where it's gonna come from. If I may double dutch in here, I think that America's biggest problem is old black people.
I would agree with you.
Old black people.
I would agree with you. The reason I would agree is because they've been stuck in such a misunderstanding psychologically for so long. It's become a habit.
All right. Now, hold that, young man. I don't know if you ever seen this movie. What's the movie with Robert Duvall and Sean Penn? Colors. There's a joke in there where
Colors?
the joke goes like this. There's a young bull and an old bull, and the young bull say, "Daddy, why don't we run down this hill and fuck a couple of these cows?" And the older bull said, "No, son, why don't we walk down and fuck them all?" Now, you got a lot of ideas. But I need you to walk down so you can fuck them all. You need you to walk down. Now, what was we? Didn't think about that. What was we talking about?
I told you, right? I did tell you, right?
Yeah. I like this cat. Right? Old black folks. Old black folks. I'm watching, thank you, Lord, for this. I'm watching churches straight up die. Churches are dying because the people who believe that shit are dying. And I had to do this on Facebook. They were condemning some young people because the young people couldn't understand why they had to dress up to go to church. And I said, attention, old people. Y'all sounding real Pharisee-ish right now. And every young black child.
You call some old black people Pharisees?
Pharisees, yes.
You going to hell.
I'm going to hell. I said, y'all real Pharisee. You know, if we going to use your playbook, which is the Bible, it's not mine.
You going to hell, Jeff?
I don't know what color car the Lord say you're supposed to drive, but he's real clear about come as you are. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen is, again, the dollar is going to have to collapse because black people don't really worship Jesus. They worship money.
I agree. Yeah. I fully agree.
Yeah, they don't, this whole praise the Lord. No, you praise money.
Yep, because if you told every pastor right now to go do what they do for free, it'd be an empty church.
It'd be a lot of empty churches.
They would not be preaching.
That's right.
No.
Nobody would be called.
Ain't no love offering.
And my thing is, they say in the Bible, it say, money is the root of all evil, or the love of money is the root of all evil. But if that's true, and God said that, then what the hell God keep asking me for tithes for every goddamn Sunday?
Exactly. And how did the streets get paid with gold?
That's right. See, I think it comes back to perspective. And I think once again, like I said, our people. And I don't want nobody to think, because if you're not familiar with me, I go hard body and I tell the truth. So that being said, I don't give nobody a way out. Not white people, not Chinese people, and not black people.
Come on,
but
man.
I think that only a person of a certain lineage of race can have an understanding of what's truly wrong with their people. So when it comes to being black, I've actually been black, and I've actually seen black people, fuck off chances. So when we talking about what's wrong with our communities, even when we say church, what I'm saying, I've never seen a pastor go bail out some kids. I've never seen a pastor pay somebody bills in the church, who's behind. I've never seen a pastor, really change the community. I've never seen, I'm young. My parents didn't leave me anything. Nobody left the people,
Right.
Our elders on Christmas, when Christmas comes, they buy you everything in the world. But then when you get of age and it's time for you to join the world and you 16, 17, 18, you ain't got shit. Now you gotta go get a job.
Old clothes and advice.
Yeah,
That's all they
exactly.
get.
So I think that our perspectives and our values is all the way fucked up. And when it comes to money, money is everybody's God. People either save or sell their soul over $1. When we understand that, people don't even understand the origins of money. We talking about money. Money has a occultic origins. It's a spell. It's like numbers are infinite. So if I can get you to value something that is of a numerical foundation, then your value to that can be infinite. So with that being said, even like when it comes to printing money, it costs the same amount of money to print $1 as to do $100 bills.
So
it's actually only in your mind that $100 is worth more than $1. So when we talking about even the origins of money, we don't understand the origins of humanity today as far as history. Money is nothing more than an occultic system that helps you monetize nature. And the idea of monetizing nature is not an African idea.
No.
So whether we want to say is right or wrong, that's for a debate for another time. But when I'm talking about black people, we got to go back to our perspective. When we lived on this planet and we ruled, we did not see nature as something you can monetize and benefit from. We synced it as something that was free for everybody.
Right.
So now we're being educated.
It was something to live
underneath.
with, not live off of.
Right. Something to advance, not live with, to advance. The point of life is to advance yourself physiologically, spiritually, intellectually. Document that so that when other souls reincarnate to this planet, they can pick up where you left off and further advance where you left off. Nice. So when we talking about money, nobody's doing that. And then when we even talking about the economy, you don't have time to do that. You don't have time to meditate. You don't got time to go do some real martial arts, or you couldn't become a samurai in this damn time because you got to work a double today and you're tired. So when we talking about money, it's called energetic enslavement. We are all energetically enslaved to somebody else's imagination. There's no such thing as a God in the sky that's going to come down and help you. And there's actually no such thing as somebody telling you what to do. We're all listening to a system. The system is exactly what it is. It doesn't really exist. It's a set of motions set in place that we follow. So when we talking about money, everybody worships money, but money has no real value. It's only valuable because somebody said it. If tomorrow, right, we went and we conquered a country and we said that these white rocks is worth this and these gray rocks is worth this, motherfuckers will be in the rap videos in that country flashing
white
rocks.
And gray rocks.
Yeah, so
white
when we talking
rocks.
about our perspective, the world has become a cruel, inhumane place in a non-understanding place because everybody out of their goddamn minds. So we talking about what the problem is. Once again, incorrect perspective, and that's due to a mind virus. And that mind virus is not just religion, because if money goes away, religion goes away. So religion is not the problem, and it's money which is the problem. But then when we trace the roots of money, money's not really the problem. It's the incorrect perspective that even set the notion or concept of money in existence in the first place. That's the problem. So just like, you got a computer, sometimes you got to clean your hard drive. People got to clean their goddamn brain. That's your biological computer. So
Yeah.
we talk about even police brutality, right?
Yeah.
Your life is now just worth a lawsuit, Like you can kill my son and I'm
how
content
much
if
is
you
it
give me
worth?
$2
If you
million.
give me those
So
dollars.
goddamn,
So
so
a
what-
kid dying is actually a come up.
yeah.
Right.
Like I'm okay. Oh, you didn't kill my kid. and I'm so
Now you
hurt,
owe
but
me.
I got the settlement, and we all right now. We riding Bentley truck.
Right.
So, you know, is life really worth a? You know, did you reincarnate to work at McDonald's? You know, did you come through your mother's womb to have to do something you don't want to do? Nobody wants to work. Even if you work and you like your job, you don't want even the whole notion of having to earn a living. Who said I have to earn a living when nature already provided me the means to live free? Water was already here. You the one that just said I could have a certain amount if I don't engage in your system and pay my bill.
Right.
So once again, you know, the problem with this world is bigger than what we think. And we keep getting caught up on. See, a lot of people got egos. So a lot of times we know the truth, but we want to prove it in our way. And this is why I tell people, I don't let nobody off the hook. I would never excuse Caucasians for their roles in history, but I'm not going to excuse what I see today either. So we can't say, oh, you know, police is brutalizing us when I'm watching my people waste trillions of dollars every year on one holiday. On one holiday.
Right.
You could have built your own community. You ain't need no goddamn police. So you're just as much as the problem that you're complaining about. Or you can't we can't speak on, you know, oh, this white person killed us when we kill each other every day. I'm coming fresh out of the streets. Anybody check my background, go right to Buffalo. I'm official. So I've been in the midst of black people doing crazy shit. So it's like when we do it, it's okay. We in the rap videos, we got the Draco. But when he do it, it's not okay. But then it's confusion now. We're confusing the world now because now we don't know who's righteous, who's unrighteous, because you telling me it's this white man, but then the black man doing the same thing, and then the white man is complaining on the black man, but then he doing the same thing. You got the government making us look like we drug dealers, you bringing in the drugs, and then you got black people complaining that the government killing us when we doing it too. So somebody's gonna have to stop. And the reason that all of this is going on is because of money. So, you know, I think that people need to get their perspectives right, and we need to create a world that is solar energy based. It can be done. The government has the technology to do it. They just won't release it to you. So with that being said, I think that, you know, civilized communities, houses, and any form of architectural structure should be built solar based so that the utilities run free and everything is free and everybody is at a equal playing field as far as their environment. Because when it comes to negative actions, the part of your brain which stimulates that is the reptilian part of your brain. So the definition of environment is the circumstances which influence a living organism. If your environment is influenced you as a living organism to always be in a part of your brain that is low frequency, which is alpha beta state, or you're always in fight or flight mode, you're going to do negative things. But if we construct an environment where you're always in the neo-mammalian part of your brain, then we're not going to guarantee you're going to be positive, but the chance of you being positive is much higher.
Right.
So with that being said, when we're talking about the projects or the ghetto, it's not just about putting guns and drugs in the community. That it don't end there. It's about keeping somebody in the lowest level of frequency in the lowest level or the megahertz frequency of their brain that you can. Right. So when we see a peaceful versus an unpeaceful environment, all you have to do is see how the environment is set up and how it's stimulating the organism. Just like an animal, right? If you see a whale in the ocean, the fin is straight up. If you see a whale born in captivity, right, the fin is leaning, it's slumped. So this shows you that once you psychologically recognize and your body biologically identifies that it is not in its natural environment, you don't even develop to your full capacity as a being.
A fish only get as big as the aquarium.
Exactly. So what you think you as a human, what do you think you become? So, you know, the problem is perspective. I'm going to keep saying that word, but we have an incorrect perspective. Everybody think they know what they talking about. Don't nobody know shit. People think just because they grown, that automatically mean you know something, you know? And I like to tell people, you know, it's like if I'm in fifth grade, and then I pass my test and you fail and you in 8th, and I come to 6th, and then I pass and I go to 7th and you in 8th still, and then when I get to 8th, you tell me, oh, you should cheat off my test because I've been doing it longer. No, you've been a dumbass nigga longer. So I don't care about nobody talking about I'm grown, I've been living. It's a damn shame that you're 50 years old and you're still a moron. So I think that people need to understand that, you know, this thing called life is all about you expressing yourself as a conscious being. Mm-hmm. And what we have to understand is somebody else has infringed upon the way we express ourselves by, let's say, coming through the back door and already creating scenarios that we have nothing to do with. So even the clothes that we wearing right now, when you went to the store, you thought you had free will to pick them, but you didn't. You had the options to pick from what somebody already put there.
You chose from the choice.
That's right. Exactly.
You can't choose the shit I didn't buy.
Exactly.
Not in my house. I don't know how the hell you gonna get some cigarettes in my house.
Man, shit.
Young man is in here doing it. I love it.
Yeah, five problems. I got like 20 here, so let me just run off a couple.
20?
I got 20 problems
take the top
facing
five,
me. I'm gonna take the top 5. So the first one that is plaguing the melanated community is lack of knowledge of self and the world and American history. That's the very first thing. I mean, there's nothing else really that comes before that, because you don't understand that you are the first people on this planet. So you have a history that goes back so far so prestigious that they have tried to hide that from you, and because they know that would empower you. So the lack of knowledge of self in history and in American history as well, that's the very first thing. Because if you have that knowledge, then that'll put you on a different path. You won't see yourself as someone who has no future. You'll see yourself, oh, I came from this. Well, let me get this shit back then. So that's the first thing. Then lack of unity. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. And Lord,
Kev, why do you think there's a lack of unity? Real quick.
Lack of unity. That's also engineered. I mean, they want to keep you separate. They understand if you come together, they have nothing. I mean, this goes back to in time immemorial. Anybody who wants to take over a place, they usually try to. They get the people to fight each other first. Like Cortez, when he came over to fight the Native Americans, they say, oh, Cortez took over America and he had all these, just a small amount of conquistadors. And how was he able to take over all these Native Americans who were here? That's because he went to the other Native American tribes first and said, hey, these bitch ass Aztecs, ain't they suppressing y'all so long? Don't y'all want to fight back? So he went and got all the other tribes who the Aztecs were suppressing and got them to say, you know what, fuck this shit. Let's take over the Aztecs. And then he was only like 500 conquistadors, but it was like thousands of Native Americans that he got to fight on his side, and they went and they conquered the Aztec Empire. But it's always, if I get you to fight between yourselves, then I can win. So Cortez, again, little 500 little people, man, he went over there and got thousands and conquered a whole damn continent. So again, that's the lack of unity, and that's also the mythology within the Lord of the Rings. The ring, the circle, the fellowship, that's unity. That's what we have lost. You have no knowledge of that. And that's also one of the main things. Lack of the laws that govern you. That's another main thing. If you don't know how to move within your society, then they have you trapped. I mean, the Caucasians, they created these laws, which are called statutory laws, in order for them to be able to move. However, for you to be able to be stagnant, and actually just not even stagnant, you're petrified. So if you learn the laws that govern your society, then you'll be able to move just like them. See, they know that you're apathetic. That's another thing I have on the list.
So taking advantage of your apathy.
Yes, there you go. They're taking advantage of your apathy.
They're expecting you to be apathetic. They're conditioning you to be that way, and then they're benefiting from your apathy.
Exactly. They're like, you know what? They put everything out there for you to know. But then they'll put 50 million other shit, LeBron and Game of Thrones and 50, all this other shit for you to like focus on that. Here's the good shit, but focus on this bullshit over here.
Here's some spinach, but we're gonna cover it with 200 pounds of cupcakes.
Thank you.
Yeah, people gotta develop that will.
For real.
People gotta develop a will to wanna get to that spinach. But because I'm at the point where you can't keep blaming the magician if you know it's fake. You know it's a trick. It's like knowledge. Wrestling. It's like wrestling, We know wrestling fake, but niggas still what?
You don't get to keep going. Hold on.
You don't get to keep going. You're going to repeat that about the magician.
I said you can't blame the magician if you know it's a trick. You know it's fake.
Damn.
So, that's my thing. My thing is, it's easy, not to accept responsibility, and a lot of people not going to agree with the truth because they can't digest truth. It's like your body can't digest certain chemicals, it'll kill you.
Right.
So, some people not built to digest truth. So they don't accept it because it'll kill their ego. Well, so we talking about, what's wrong with us. Who the fuck don't know the government lie? You don't know that? You know what I'm saying? You don't know that? You don't know.
But wait, or they've been convinced that they can't digest the truth.
Right.
I think everybody genetically
but
is
who
predisposed
convinced them?
to.
Who convinced their own self?
Yeah. That's what we should
do.
So
it's still on you.
But it's also the knowledge. Going back to his spinach and the cupcake thing, a lot of people, what if you don't know? What if you don't know?
I told you.
So you're taught that the cupcakes are more nutritious for you than the spinach. So then you're gonna go after the cupcakes. It's knowledge, man. This information.
Cupcakes are made with milk.
But see, that's the real currency.
Yes.
Information.
Right.
Yeah.
And I gotta make sure, in order to govern, that I dilute the information you consume.
But people gotta also realize that information not gonna save your life. Because you can read a million books and be a piece of shit.
Right.
So that's what people gotta realize.
That's true.
You gotta work on yourself spiritually and mentally, and that's what people refuse to do. Okay? Because a lot of people got information and they run this motherfucking world evilly. A lot of people don't have information and they'll feed a homeless man before a pastor do.
That's true.
So we gotta realize that's actually part 2. Part 1 is creating yourself into either a righteous or unrighteous person.
Right.
When we talking about righteous, I don't want nobody to take the term out of context and think that, we on some Macaulay Culkin Home Alone Christmas shit. We not. All I'm talking about is doing the right thing when ain't nobody looking. So we talking about, I'm not gonna rape you. I'm not gonna steal from you. You know what I'm saying? You put your money down, you put your wallet down, I'm not gonna go in your wallet. So just because you learn from a book, that don't mean it changes the frequency of who you are.
Right.
So the problem with the world is, once again, perception. We think money gonna change us. We think knowledge gonna change us. And we still ain't even worked on our characteristics or our personal behaviors in this world. So with that being said, if you don't have a proper moral inventory, what you gonna give? You only can, if you a plumber and you only came with a hammer and goddamn it, you need a screwdriver, nigga, you can't fix shit. So if you ain't got the proper inventory for this game called life, you can't play. So black people, because I'm black. I'm speaking on black people. I don't live amongst Chinese people. Black people, we gotta
Man,
once again,
what?
Clean up. I ain't grew up around Chinese people.
Okay,
that's you. I grew up in the hood.
Look, stop your talking. Stop your talking. Okay? For those of you who may be confused, whenever, because I get this a lot on Facebook, whenever you hear a conscious black man speak, please understand that black is implied. He's not talking about everybody. I'm not talking, when I talk about relationships, when I talk about economy, when I talk about disease, when I talk about progress, please understand that I am talking from a black man's perspective about black people. And when you add extra shit, that's just extra shit.
That's right.
Okay? Right? Well, I am so tired of, it's the world
but
and it's the, no.
I like what both of you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Again, when we talk about information, right? The fabric of reality is made of information.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, literally, the fabric of reality is made of ones and zeros, binary code. This is proven. But the point that I'm trying to make in terms of information, the brother is right about applying that information to oneself, correcting one's shortcomings. There is a spiritual purpose for why you exist. And really, that's about untying whatever knots, whatever traumatic knots or whatever experiential knots you've experienced before. That's why you're in a relationship. You're trying to, this is what I need to work on. It's never about the person you're in a relationship with. It's always about you.
It ain't about them T-shirts at Magic Mountain.
It's a personal information that you need to be like, like the brother said, a moral compass.
Correct.
To understand like, this is not a good thing. I always look at the person as a flame, right? The person as a flame. Fire isn't evil inherently.
No.
Right? But it's the wielder of the flame and his intent, his or her intent. Now you can take that flame, you can warm a baby's bottle, you can cook a meal, you can warm a home, or you could burn some motherfuckers up with it.
Right. Knowledge has a yin and yang to it.
So therein lies the intention behind it, and that goes back to the moral compass. A lot of times we need to figure out, why am I in this situation? What is to be gained for my betterment? A lot of people don't come into situations with that mentality, like you said about perspective.
That's right.
A lot of times people come into a situation with the perspective of, how is this going to help me cover what I need to work on? Did you hear that? How is this going to help me obfuscate what I need to work on? I need it covered. I need it plastered over. I don't ever want to see this pain again. I don't want to ever see this unresolved issue again. So they come in with an agenda that isn't moral. Like it's immoral to cover what you need to work on. Like a lot of people don't understand that.
That's right.
Right. This is why I go back to the knowledge, because back in the ancient times, the mystery schools would teach us all these different things. There was there was on the Science Channel. They went into one of the mystery schools and did the numbers of the diametrics of it, and they showed how it was an acoustic chamber, and how
that's right.
People would go in there and they would sit and meditate, and they would send out these certain sounds, and these acoustic sounds would help raise or change their vibration.
That's right.
Which goes back to something called cymatics.
That's right.
Which I talk about is vibrations relation to form. So everything
Yep.
in the universe or in the physical realm has a vibration, a certain frequency to it.
Certain musical note.
Yeah.
Right? And so back in the day, today we're so aggregated. We can we can experience relationships just every day, every second on the day.
The world's smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
Back then they didn't have it like that, so they had to enter these chambers and experience these different vibrations to help raise their consciousness, their what you call their spiritual level and things like that. So, but we don't have that knowledge today. That knowledge has been taken away from us and it's being used against us. So
But see, Kev, you talking about something that's big. This is why I say the motherfuckers who govern information, they are the ones who, in a way, this is what social engineering is.
Yes.
If I control the contents of your consciousness, if I control your ideas, your imagination, your creativity. Watch this. There's a book. I don't know if you probably hip to it. Thomas Hamblin, Dynamic Thought. And there's an experiment in the book that says, I want you to create a monster that has never existed before. Right? And then a few chapters later, he don't even give you the shit right up front. He gives it to you a few chapters later. I'm gonna give it to you now. So you gotta read a few chapters, then he'll give you what you find you've done in most cases. When you create a monster that has never existed, it's really a hodgepodge of different shit that already exists.
There you go.
Right.
Right?
And that,
it's eagle claws, it's his owl face or whatever. You hodgepodge some shit together.
Patching
and he
shit.
says, that's not creating, that's making.
Right.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
Right.
So he was breaking
That's
it
using
down.
Legos.
Right.
Who made the Lego?
Right. So when you're dealing in a society that says this is social engineering, I'm about to control the content of your creativity.
Yep.
So if I give you diet knowledge, you're gonna live diet reality.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right. And that come right back to the question. Exactly.
You're gonna live on
Exactly.
I'm gonna let you hear the song, but I'm gonna keep the publishing.
I'm gonna
That's
keep
right.
all that.
And
You TLC in this.
That's
You
what-
can whistle for it
That's
on the
right.
record all day.
People they lost their true the original perspective, They're just like you got original, you got a remix, you got all kind of, you can edit something. Same thing with your mind, we talk about God consciousness. We don't see all things as one. And then when we get to talking about the true levels of understanding, people say, oh, that's corny and that's this and the third. Well, you are denying your higher level of understanding, which leads you to mental salvation. Even when we're talking about, the source of all that is what you deem to be physical, aka tangible. We are all anatomically connected.
Right.
Atoms hold consciousness.
Right.
So with that being said, all things technically are one. You are the tree. You and the tree is made up of the same exact atoms. Y'all just chemically manifested yourselves in different forms.
Right.
So with that being said, it's like if ice met water, would they get into a fight about them being different? So with that being said, ice and water don't fight when they meet. So we're all actually just different variations of ourselves fighting with each other. So with that being said, we keep talking about what's wrong with the world. Once again, I'm gonna bring it back, perspective. And when we're talking about being conscious, we've lost the supreme understanding of consciousness, which is everything is just, everything is one. It's just different intervals experiencing itself in different forms.
Different
the
vibrations,
waves,
yeah.
right? If you at the ocean and the waves wash up on the shore, is a wave not an extension of the ocean?
Yes.
So are you not an extension of the universe? But all waves ain't the same. Some big, some small,
Right.
some long, some short. So everybody on this planet Earth is symbolic to the waves, and the universe is the ocean. But when we talking about, the problems, the fact that we don't understand that this science is why it's being manipulated. And we have so many different entities on this planet. Even we talking about racism. I know for a fact racism exists, but it's being magnified due to people's ignorance. Not just black, but white people too. Because white people are being miseducated and then they're playing a role, and then black people are being miseducated and they're playing a role, and the only people that benefit from both roles is the elites. So if you tell a black person
Wow.
right now, Malcolm X, Malcolm X, Malcolm X. And then you tell a white person, black people ain't shit, all they do is sell drugs. A white person gonna feel like in order for him to make the world better, he should become a cop to stop this evil. And a black person gonna feel like in order for me to make the world better, I should become a revolutionary to stop this evil. And all you did was create two motherfuckers who finna go at each other's head, and all you gonna do is make all the money off it, because as they kill each other, it's gonna be on the news and you gonna benefit. So what everybody gotta understand is the reason you don't understand that we are all, the fact that you don't understand that we are all one, experiencing each other from different perspectives, is how you being manipulated. And like I said, we have different characteristics. So a lot of people gonna say, you know, well, I'm not one with a Caucasian, right? Me, myself, I teach that all non-African people were genetically engineered by extraterrestrials and they're not natural people. That's what I teach. So evolution is a lie. White people don't come from black people. So with that being said, when we're talking about why people do what they do, we have to understand your behaviors are influenced by your genetics. So even when we're talking about Caucasian people, right? We're not being racist, we're being scientific. They are 93% human, 7% Neanderthal. The Neanderthal is primate, right? So now this would be, when you study primates or you study animals or monkeys specifically, they will form groups, gangs, or troops and kill each other. So when we look at the nature or the history of a Caucasian, they're not doing nothing than expressing what is in them genetically. When you look at black people and you look at our nature genetically, you look at our characteristics, we're not doing nothing but expressing ourselves genetically. So once again, we're talking about, you know, what's wrong with the world. If a Caucasian has a Neanderthal-based DNA, he should have a specific school which teaches him about him. He shouldn't be over here trying to tell me about me. And I shouldn't be over here trying to tell him about him. I should be over here trying to tell me about me. You don't see birds trying to teach a goddamn bear, okay? So if animals can all live in the same environment and still cohabit and respect their space, what the fuck is our excuse? Our problem is everybody is trying to override the system of somebody else. Okay. You're your own, you know, we got to understand that we're all one, but we're individual different expressions of ourselves. And once we understand that, you give a person their own space.
We got to wrap it. We got to go to break real quick. When we come back,
I'm going to need you to get back to,
we going to cover that. Jeff, I already know you.
That was brilliant. But
I was going to stop him before he went. I know you.
Okay.
Can we do your intellectual rant? We're going to take a quick break.
All right.
DJ Julian Ramirez on the Mega Mix.
And then I got
the ZOWHAT Morning Show is crazy right now. Top 5 things that's holding the black community back. We are all over the place right now, but it's all good. It's all great information. When we return, Jeff Brown's intellectual rant. So what? Ladies and gentlemen, the Jeff Brown music in the background set up perfectly. ZOWHAT Mornings back in the building, 11 to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 to 4 on the East. We always tackle tough topics. Today is no different. What are the top 5 issues facing African Americans' collective progress? We didn't talk about education. We've been talking about religion. We've been talking about all kind of stuff. And I really love the conversation. We have special guest panelist in the building joining the conversation, young Pharaoh. You know it's the top of the hour, so that can only mean one thing. He's high, he's funny, and he's intelligent. It is Jeff Brown's intellectual rant. Jeff, what are you going to rant on today?
Wow. Well, first off, shout out to the young brother to my right. Black man, it is so refreshing to see young dudes think like you think, because that's where it's gonna come from. The definition of a sucker, my personal definition, is any person, place, or concept that is expected or does not respect itself, or any person, place, or concept that respects a thing more than it respects itself, becomes a sucker. Okay, that's why you get the side eye when you walk into the basketball game holding the hoe's hand, because you respecting her more than she respect herself. So everybody around you sees you as a sucker. The earth, the rest of the world, does not want to be a sucker for loving black people more than they love themselves. You will never get help from anyone with your problems until you show them that you love you more than they love you. Information transcends money. Think of that. Information is above money. How many people you know start out in January with $1 million and by December sleeping on their mama couch? Because information transcends money. Money is not the end of it. That is problem number 2 with black people. Money is seen as the end of it, when truly, money is somewhere in the middle. It's not the beginning or the end. But until you can see money as a tool, it is not the thing, it is the thing you do other things with. Until you can see that, big problem. Information has become music, like elevator music. The shit that you know was programmed and regurgitated to you, and all the soul is taken out. So you think that when you go to this college, when you go to this university, this place of higher learning, concepts set up by your oppressor using shit that actually came from you, that you are somehow better than people who didn't go. There's a brother who comes on this show. I've been waiting to give him this. Sometimes I'll tell him when I see him. Sometimes you act like your education makes you better than the people who paid for it.
Oh, Jesus, I know. Let me be quiet. Go ahead, man. Oh, shit.
Problem number 3, confusion about racism and bigotry. Dear black people, you more than likely don't know any racists. You more than likely have not seen, unless you watch C-SPAN, you probably have not seen any racists. What you are confusing for racism is bigotry. Bigotry is yelling nigga from a moving car. Bigotry is chasing niggas with baseball bats. Racism is gentrification. Racism is Flint water. Racism is not hiring you. Racism is not giving you a bank loan. All that white people are, that you know, the bigots that you call racists, all they are doing is doing the power elite's bidding. They are Quasimodo. They are Frankenstein. Nigga, they ain't Dracula. They ain't Sherlock Holmes. These people, these are the idiots that do the bidding. The police you see are nothing but the dogs of the oppressor. They are attack dogs that can use walkie-talkies. Stop looking at them as the end of it. You got to look past that. You have to look past bigotry. I'm not saying you got to get in bed with these people, but you definitely have to stop blaming them for your problems. You got to get away from a microwave mentality that you need it done now and for you. That's a big problem. Nobody wants to sacrifice a generation. It's always about us. We always see moving away as moving up. When there were projects, remember the projects? There were a group of white people that I cannot stand, that I hated. These were the white people who used to wait till late at night and sneak in the projects and bust out all the windows and piss in the elevators. They don't exist. They don't exist. Black people, white people don't make the hood bad. Niggas, you do. You do. Those guns they drop off, who told you to open the crates and then open fire on one another? That was your fucking idea. Dope dealers. I'm not telling you not to sell dope. I'm telling you not to stop selling dope, stupid. Everybody who came here sold dope to their weak people. The Irish did it, the Jews did it, the Italians did it, and they turned that money into legitimate business. That's what you're supposed to be doing with that dope money. If you make another rap album, if you make another rap song, if you get on the mic again and talk about who you shot. If he black, we get it. Shut the fuck up. We don't need any more of that. Try to figure out how we can make this better. If you can't make the world better, then stop reporting on how bad it is. I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Brown's intellectual rant.
Now let's get back to this white folks, this aliens. I don't know how the hell he gonna drop that in the middle and keep going.
Let me set it up. You listening to the ZOWHAT Morning Show. Oh my God, Jeff Brown just dropped the heater. Today's topic, man, and it's an expansive topic. You know, it has to be dealt with. What are the top 5 issues facing African Americans' collective progress? I mean, Jeff was talking to, shit, it was heavy. We got a special guest in the building right now, Young Pharaoh. Young Pharaoh, do you have a website people can follow you or follow you, your movement, where you are, how they connect with you? What is it called?
Most definitely. All of my lectures, behind the scenes videos and footage of my lectures, my music. I also have a section for children that I'm creating. Yes, I do music.
Speak on it, man.
That's right. Basically, all of my work, my entire body of work, and as I continue to create, it gets added to my site. And my site is youngpharaoh.net. You can go subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook at Young Pharaoh, Twitter at Young Pharaoh, Instagram Pharaoh_Allah. No, I'm not a Muslim. I gotta throw that in there.
My man.
So with that being said, those are some of my social media links you can follow me at, and you can subscribe to my YouTube. I have over 80,000 subscribers. My YouTube is Young Pharaoh, and I go crazy on YouTube. I put out over 300 videos in less than a year. It's only 360 days, but they tell you it's 365 days in a year. So that's almost 2 videos or a video every other day. And I don't repeat my content. I come with high science, and I don't leave no room for for opinions, because we coming with facts.
Wow. Love it, love it, love it. Now, Jeff Brown, you did have questions for the good Young Pharaoh.
I got question number 2 now. Where the hell them extra 5 days come in the year? Shit, we need to. No. But that's question number 2.
Okay.
Question number 1. The brother was just walking along, throwing grenades out his bag, and
clumsy chemist
just
dropping science.
Yeah, clumsy chemist. Whoops, there's some knowledge. Drop that. He hit us with the white people were actually made by aliens, and then he just kept going. We got to go back to that. Yeah, bro, please. And I'm gonna need some references. I'm gonna need some books I can read, some places I can go, because that's meaty.
Let him get it. Let him.
Question, sir.
All right,
and then you can play off Kev, because he be knowing some of this shit too.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
When we talking about all non-Africans being 93% human beings, 7% Neanderthal, or when we talking about blood types, people have to understand, don't even know what blood types are. So before I even go into the science, I got to give you the the inventory. Like if you're Rh positive or Rh negative, people don't know that Rh stands for Rhesus monkey. Rhesus monkey is an actual monkey. So if you're a human, how can you have monkey blood? Like if you're AB, if your blood type is either AB, like this is why they say the O blood type is universal. The O blood type is the only blood type that doesn't contain an antigen. An antigen is a toxin or foreign substance that invokes a response from the immune system in your body. So the A blood type is canine based, and the B blood type is primate based. So once again, not being racist, this is why people say, oh, it smells like wet dog when it rains on a Chinese person or a European person. This is because they have canine or primitive DNA. So with that being said, when we're talking about the composition of a human, even when they say evolution, going to the evolution theory, monkeys don't have reptilian parts of the brain. They don't have pineal glands. Reptiles do. Cobras have pineal glands. This is why cobras can respond to music and the cobra can actually meditate. So with that being said, how did a monkey evolve into a humanoid entity and give you a physical component that it itself does not have? So a monkey cannot give you a pineal gland and a reptilian part of the brain. So that right there should automatically draw questions in the evolution theory as far as how are you getting components from an entity that doesn't have it. Monkeys also don't possess neuromelanin. Humans do. So with that being said, the evolution theory is out. So after this, after you begin to question the evolution theory and you start to seek out human origins, I'm going to give you historical references genetic scientific references, and I'm going to give you religious references. Not to say religion is true, but I'm going to give you the reference because religion was wrote by Masonic and occultic practitioners, and it contains secret information.
Coded, yeah.
So with that being said, if you look at the Nation of Islam, they say we come from Yaqub, who was a big head black scientist. Now that's a half truth. Yaqub is a Hebrew word which means supplanter. So the name is not a person, it's an attribute that an entity did.
Which most of the names in the Bibles are.
That's correct.
They're attributes.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So we talking about Yaqub created the white race. Ain't no big head black man create no white race of people. What they're saying is an entity supplanted a genetic organism here. So now when we go to Yaqub in the Bible in the book of Genesis, Genesis means the origin or production of something. This is why all creation stories take place in the book of Genesis. When you go to the story of Jacob separating Laban's flock, you know, some people like to say there were no J's back then, so his name would have been Jacob. So Jacob is actually Yaqub in the Bible. And the story of him separating Laban's speckled and spotted flock is an allegorical story of the genetic engineering process that took place. So in the Bible it's called Patmos, but the island was called Pelon, allegedly. Now with that being said, we can see the admission of the existence of a foreign entity in religion by Masonic practitioners who wrote the book. Now with that being said, when we're dealing with all non-Africans being engineered by extraterrestrials, even when we're dealing with the government, right? I could throw out 1,000 references. I'm gonna give you a couple. You have Stephen Greer, who he's Caucasian, but he tells the truth. And Stephen Greer breaks down USAP programs, which is Unacknowledged Special Access Programs, USAP. And these are programs that actually are unacknowledged and actually work behind the government. So these are called shadow government programs. And Stephen Greer also mentions how the president and the CIA had to call him in one time to get information regarding extraterrestrials, because when they called one of these secret facilities, the facility told the president of the United States, this information can only be divulged to you on a need-to-know basis, and you don't have a need to know. So the reason I'm putting this information out there is to let you know that there is levels to the government that even the president and the head of the CIA don't have access to. And these are the branches of the government that deal with extraterrestrials. So now with that being said, when we're talking about human origins, not only is evolution theory is a lie, the what you would call the white gene or the Caucasian gene or whatever word you want to use is only 6,000 years old. And that was confirmed in 2013 of May by the Australian Research Center for Ancient DNA. So with that being said, when we're talking about the origins of Caucasians, religion goes back 6,000 years. History now goes back 6,000 years. They've reverted the calendar to the Gregorian calendar to make you think it's 2017. That starts back in the Jesus hemisphere, which is about 6,000 years. So now time as you know it is being reformatted to 6,000 years. And this is to fit the new identity of the supplanted entity on this planet. So now when we say Caucasians, extraterrestrials, genetically modified Caucasians, when we talking about the origins of non-Africans, or even when we talking about Masonry, people like to say the Illuminati. The head of the Illuminati is considered the Pindar. The Pindar is referred to as a serpent. Even when we talking about Moses in the Bible, Moses was considered a Messiah. Messiah in Demotic text means lizard king or serpent. When we talking about Sebek in Egypt, which was a deity with a crocodile head, which was when the Ptolemies, who were Europeans, came and infiltrated Egypt, and they started occultic practices such as rubbing crocodile or reptile fat on you, right? They worship Sebek, and Sebek in Demotic text is pronounced mus with a hiss. So this is a crocodile deity. If you go to any ancient civilization around the world, anyone, it don't gotta be in Africa. It could be in Europe, it could be in North America, South America. They all have stories, right, of them battling with reptoid entities, right? So now when we go,
I want you to slow down, because
Stephen who?
Stephen Greer, because I gotta blueprint the existence of extraterrestrials before I break it down. Because a lot of people don't believe they exist. So now I gotta drill it in your head, that it is it's something out.
I want you to cover that Sobek part, because people don't understand. This is like he hit it and he ran through it.
Yeah,
remember? Down the hill, slow, hit them all.
Yeah, you gonna fuck them all.
Right? That was a big piece. Because people don't understand, that's your rights of royalty.
Correct.
This is how the royals are anointed, right?
Yes. That's right, because even when you say that, they say...
I wanted you to go into
That's right, even when you say that, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers come from the Ra-Cam and the Ra-Per-Ah. Because they say that, when you study the story of Ra, in Egypt, right? He says 6,000 years ago, a group of entities came known as the She-2, and they say this is where the word shadow comes from. And She-2 were known as reptoid beings, and they say that Ra had instructed the pharaohs to hide his knowledge from the She-2. So the pharaohs who took on the task of Ra became the Ra-Per-Ah, and then Per-Ah, right, was transformed into Pharaoh. So it became Ra became Ra-Ka, which means the one true God, and then Pharaoh, they say back then was pronounced Per-Ah. So it was the Ra-Ka Per-Ah. Then Per-Ah was transmuted into Pharaoh. So it became the Rockefeller, and today known as the Rockefellers. Then when you talk about the Rothschilds, the descendants of those pharaohs who were supposed to get that knowledge were known as the Ra-Cam. Cam, they say, was an ancient word for shield. So they was called the Rothschilds. So the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers are nothing more than the Rockefeller-Ahs and the Ra-Cams, who was us. So we talking about identity theft, right? We talking about a supplanter, and we go back to Yaqub, and we talking about somebody supplanting a race of people. We talking about, y'all stole our knowledge. Our bloodline was stolen, and our identity is stolen. So we keep talking about we're the first people, right? And we go back to bringing this back to the initial discussion, other people being genetically engineered by extraterrestrials. The dates genetically of all other human manifestation forms outside of African people only go back 6,000 years. This is the same date and time when a group of extraterrestrials came to this planet. Ancient civilizations have documented interactions with these entities, and not only that, these entities run the government today. And you can check with Putin, or Putin, however you say his name, who's the head of Russia, and he's already went, and you can go look this up, he's already went on record to say that over 90% of the ruling class elites in the world are not human, they're hybrid reptilian beings. So this is not something I'm just trying to be cute on a radio station saying. The head of Russia said this. So with that being said, we have to understand that when we're talking about destroying somebody's consciousness, this is bigger than what you think, and everybody is just a pawn on the chessboard. And when we're talking about going back to genetics, right, we know for a fact from basic science, two different species can't have sex. So if we were to study the DNA of a non-African, even a Chinese person, right? If you have Neanderthal or monkey, genetics, and we know a human and a monkey can't have a baby, how did you get that? It had to be genetic engineering. Now, when you study genetic engineering, they have what is called restriction enzymes, and they have a different restriction enzyme for whatever it is they're trying to engineer. So if we're trying to splice some apples, we have restriction enzymes for that. If we're trying to splice some oranges, we got restriction enzymes for that. When it comes to splicing the albino, because they like to say the Caucasian was created by the albino, but he wasn't. They took Dravidian DNA and they took primate DNA and they used it to create a humanoid entity. So even when they say Europeans come from black people, that's not true. And just because people in India look melanated, they're not African, they're still Neanderthal descendant. So with that being said, we got to get over that confusion. But bringing it back here, a Dravidian albino and certain primates and canine genetics was used to create a humanoid organism. And we see that the effects of genetic engineering, right? When you look at a donkey or a mule, which is a cross between a horse and a donkey, right? They suffer from hemolytic disease. And hemolytic disease is when the mother is pregnant, right, with a child, and the immune system begins to attack and kill the baby because it sees it as a foreign entity. Now, this hemolytic disease is the result of genetic engineering. So when you see a black and a white person trying to have a baby, and they got to go to the doctor to get the Rogam shot, is because they have hemolytic disease. And this comes from the Rh negative or Rh positive blood factor.
Okay.
Rh positive means you're...
All right, so slow down. Because I know a bunch of black folks.
No, I'm finna go there on how we got it. No, I'm finna go there. No, I'm finna go there on how we got it. Because when you see...
I need that mixed baby shot.
When you see somebody that's Rh positive or Rh negative try to have a child, they have to get the Rogam shot. But the way that black people became Rh positive is through what is known as red blood cell hemolysis. Red blood cell hemolysis is when you have sex with somebody that's Rh positive, and then the antigens in their body actually mix, whether it be your semen and blood or however it's introduced to your body biochemically, and it begins to break down the protein in your bloodstream and infect you. So now we do see black people that need to get the Rogam shot, but we have to understand that at one point in time we were all O negative and we didn't need a Rogam shot. So when we talking about race mixing or people having sex with all these different races, we don't understand that we're confusing and diluting our own genetics, and we actually, biochemically infecting each other with Rhesus monkey blood. So when we talking about, once again, the origins of it, when we talk about hemolytic disease is the result of genetic engineering. When you genetically engineer an animal, right, and then you impregnate it, by another foreign species, the body tries to kill the baby.
Yeah.
So for humans, for me as a black man, and if I try to have a baby with a white woman or a Chinese woman, if she got to get a Rogam shot, this is nature's way of saying we're two different species. But the question comes in is, how are you composed of multiple fabrics of genetics that don't naturally reproduce? A dog and a monkey does not have sex. A human and a dog cannot, let me rephrase that. A dog and a monkey cannot sexually reproduce, let alone a human and a dog or a human and a monkey. So how can there be a humanoid entity who not only possesses human genetics, but monkey and dog genetics, and then we have a blood type as well as a sexual reproductive negative stigma such as hemolytic disease or red blood cell hemolysis to prove that you have an unnatural genetic computation?
Where can I read this?
Okay, yeah.
You can study genetic engineering.
Yeah.
Right? Study genetics. Study masonry in the Bible. Study Stephen Greer. Stephen Greer been doing this for about 20, 30 years now, busting down the existence of extraterrestrials. You can also look into, if you need more, let's say, concrete proof on the existence of extraterrestrials, you can look up Arizona Wilder, right?
I know.
You can look up Arizona Wilder. You can look up Philip Schneider. Philip Schneider was, I want to say he was an engineer or some form of contractor, or he was doing some form of work for the government. Long story short, they told him to go under the ground. He was going to fix something. Little did he know, they sent him into an area where they were actually housing extraterrestrials. And one of them got loose and zapped his hand off. And he actually gave a press conference and showed 3 of his fingers actually missing. And they killed him 6 months after he gave that press conference. So with that being said, extraterrestrials exist. Eric Snowden just, he's wanted for treason, and he's admitted that extraterrestrials exist. So I think that everybody's problem is we're closed-minded and we don't understand. We acknowledge the greatness of the universe, but then we doubt it. We say, oh, the universe is so great and it's ever expanding. And then when you say, well, there's other life outside of you, people can't believe that. Even if you believe in a God, if you believe Jesus is up there, that's an extraterrestrial. He don't live in this atmosphere. Right. And you believe he can affect your life. You believe in an alien.
He can disappear and make water into wine and walk on water. That's some extraterrestrial shit for your monkey ass right there.
To not believe that there's intelligent humanoid entities would be like a fish believing that it's the only thing in the ocean. Right. If a fish ran into a squid, it would be an extraterrestrial interaction. They say that it's over 15 to 25,000 undocumented species of animals. So right here on our earth, we still got aliens. You can go to the rainforest right now and see a spider you never seen. That's an alien. So I think that the word alien is just being molested and perverted to turn people off from the subject. So I try to say extraterrestrial. But at this point, I don't give a damn what you call it. All you need to know is you ain't the only person on the planet, and that is strings being pulled, and you're the puppet, and you're not the puppet master. And the reason you don't see the puppet master is because you won't look up. Wow. So when we talk about racism, right? The racism is based on genetics. Period. Racism only started because another race of people came to the planet. There's going to be confusion because there's it's like if you got a tank of fish and then you put another fish in there, he might eat the fish or he might be cool with him. You don't know what happens to the environment when you introduce a new species. So, I'm going to kick it to bro, let bro do his thing and add on to the subject.
Damn.
He covered a lot.
Yeah, he did. And some of the stuff you said I agree with, some of the stuff I don't.
And that's fair.
It's cool.
That's fair.
It's cool.
Well, the extraterrestrial thing, the Caucasians being created by extraterrestrials, and I've been studying this for about 20 years as well. And the evidence does show that Caucasians did evolve from melanated people because of
it. Don't.
Yes, it does.
They're not African.
Let's hear it, and then we'll come back.
Correct.
But the thing about that is about melanin production, the stages of melanin production from 1 to 4, and your pineal being calcified, and you're not producing any melatonin, which is why you don't produce melanin, and all that different type of shit that goes down to what produces non-melanated people or less melanated people, because they do have melanin. It's just called pheomelanin, not eumelanin. So that type of shit is neither here nor there. Us being from extraterrestrials and all, and even black, if you go back far enough into the Sumerians, their cosmogony, which is their whole god pantheon, they say that we were created from extraterrestrials too. So
that's the whole Anunnaki
that's
story.
the whole Anunnaki and all that shit. That shit doesn't matter. Like, to me, what we're dealing with right now, knowing that you came from extraterrestrial and all that shit, that doesn't really matter. What really matters to me though is what you were doing when you were here in the past. How did you do it? How did you organize? What
when you
empires
say what
did
you were doing, what do you mean by that? Do you mean how you live.
Yes, what
was your culture?
What was your culture? What was your knowledge? You know, how did you cultivate the earth? You know what I'm saying? How were you conscious? How did you relate to everyone else on the earth? These different things are the tools that we need today. Now, understanding or going back to
are you saying how we used to do things was a better way of life for us
because it was our knowledge that we were cultivating and using, and then it got stripped from us and then used and turned against us. So to me, I go again back to the knowledge that we used to use to rock the earth. I mean, we ran the earth, and so if you get back to that knowledge of unity and your knowledge of self and how the body relates to the earth and things of that nature and how you relate to each other, all these different things that that we need to know in order to evolve on this planet. The other extraterrestrial stuff, that really doesn't matter to me. I mean, I've gotten in so many arguments with cats back and forth. I let that shit go. It doesn't really matter. If you want to believe white Caucasians are from extraterrestrials, or you want that shit, whatever. Caucasians are here, and you need to work with them.
But as it pertains to right now, today, what we need to do is that what you're saying? Because
Caucasian, look, the thing is, whether they came from extraterrestrials or not, they're here, and you need to work with them. So wherever they came from, you need to learn how to organize and work with people.
Work with them or work with each other.
Right. It is each other. I'm not on some old black people need to get you need to get the human race needs to get together. This is what's fucked up.
But you gotta but we gotta know that everybody's not a human first.
But that's not. I don't agree with that. Again.
That's science.
Okay. That's your science.
No, that's science.
Okay, that ain't the science. That ain't the science I've read. And I've been studying 20 years, bro.
Right.
So been in 8th grade a long time.
And let me just say,
might have been in 8th grade a long time.
I'm saying I'm open to any information. So I haven't researched it. So I'll go back and
that's why I was asking for definitive.
You was asking for books,
not a particular.
Hold on,
subject.
I'm gonna pull up a professor for you. You can play it on the air.
Yeah. I'm with it.
You can play it on the air. We talking about science. I'm gonna get it out their mouth. College, university level. That all non-Africans are not full human beings. I'm gonna pull him up right now for you.
Okay,
I'm gonna pull him up.
Finish your thought while he's pulling that up, and then we can jump back to it.
So again, the point everybody's like, melanated people need to get together. That's true, but you can get with the melanated person who your same skin tone, and you totally be opposite of this person mentally.
Oh shit, nerd fight.
So again, it really doesn't matter what your skin tone is. You need to get on with people who you vibrate. Remember, you're a frequency, you're a vibration. So it really doesn't fucking matter what your skin tone is. If I mentally, consciously vibrate with this person, then that means that we can go out and we can do some shit. And Caucasian people are here. They have the baton right now. And so if you think that you're gonna think that you're gonna try to alienate them and get the baton back, that's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to find a way to work with them in order to be able to elevate yourself out of the situation.
But Kev, I asked this question then. You can only work with people who are willing to work with you.
And they're out there, but that was one of my other points, that black people are scared of Caucasians. Like how many black people, especially out here on some pro-black shit, have actually get and kick it with some Caucasian people?
Should black people be afraid of Caucasians?
No.
But I don't think they should either.
I'm just asking, just on that point.
Universally aware.
Say more. Go deeper.
Here's the universal awareness I'm discussing. There is no Underground Railroad without the Penn Quakers. When Harriet Tubman was stealing black folks and they was hiding, they wasn't hiding in Baldwin Hills, nigga. They was hiding with white folks. The concept that we need to work with white people is almost goes without saying that on some level we're going to have to.
You got to deal with them.
You got to deal with them.
You say when we
parlay.
When we define work, I think of my grandfather going to work with people. He left the house on time with his tools, with his boots, with a direction to go and things to do when he got there. Mm-hmm. He can't show up naked talking about who he gonna work with unless he doing porn. You can't. So this concept that we need to work with white people is absolutely true. Are we ready?
No.
Hell
absolutely
no.
not. I never said that. But I'm saying you have to get to that. You do have to get to that point. Like again, man, being around this, and being in training, I train so many different type of people with different races, whatever you want to call them. And so I see that sometimes, no matter what their race, you see people vibrate on the same vibration. It doesn't matter where they're from, they think the same. So, you know, Caucasian, you have some Caucasian people.
Let me. So you're saying it is the level of consciousness.
It is the level of consciousness that you're on.
That speaks to compatibility.
Yes, and unity as well.
Or cooperation.
Yes. Exactly, because again, you can have a gang of brothers in the room, and all of them be consciously just in different
diametrically
places.
opposed. Right.
And so, what the fuck is that gonna do? But then you can have an Asian and a Caucasian and a brother here, but all of you have the same goal, the same purpose, the same, and then you can make some shit happen.
So I'll ask this to the panel right now. Conventional thought says, great education, great family upbringing creates a successful life.
Wrong.
Does that apply to black people?
No. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
No.
I think it absolutely.
Everybody's going to respond. Everybody's going to respond. Go, Jeff.
I absolutely.
Then young Pharaoh. Then
I absolutely think that those two ingredients can make a successful life. The question is, successful at what?
Yes.
Right.
Successful at what? Yes, I have an education. Yes, I have proper upbringing. Okay, what does proper upbringing actually mean? Does it mean to respect and not question authority? Does it mean to show up on time and do exactly what I'm told? Yes. Well, then I can have success amongst those parameters. But when I start looking at gatekeepers and like in the Matrix, I start looking for the dude with the key, and I start going, okay, some of this shit ain't right. Yeah, I start looking for the key master. Now that paradigm doesn't work. What happens when I say, you know what? I don't believe shit started 6,000 years ago. What happens when I say that? Now I'm not successful.
Right. Now you're a quack.
Now I'm crazy.
Now you're crazy, according to the definition of the system.
Absolutely.
Kev, and then Pharaoh.
What was the question again?
I was just saying, conventional wisdom says great education, great job, great family upbringing, you're a success.
Yes, you have a
and
successful
does that
life.
apply to a black America? You have a successful life with those three things. Go.
No, it depends on your drive. So that's your internal, you know, what I call your level of mashivity. So you can come
mash
up
out is
mashivity. Your level of mashivity. And so if you know you can come up in a great environment with all the damn backing in the world, but if you don't got the fire or you got the heart to do some shit, it doesn't matter.
If your mashivity is on 3.
Exactly. Then you can have somebody who comes up in the hood but come up with nothing.
Master P.
I mean, there you go, Master P. Worth about what, 900? What 900 million now?
A stanky jillion.
Again, there you go. So again, it depends on your, you know what I'm saying, again, your mashivity level. You know what I'm saying? You know, your drive. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? Your goals. First, and also, how can discipline tools? Can you plan? Can you strategize? Can you do things of that nature and be able to get to the top? And that doesn't require a certain background. That just requires an internal drive to be able to do it.
I like that. Then your response to that question.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to this brother right here. The reason I was saying no is because, you know, we got to say who. You know, who's controlling the mental processes of what is and what is not, and how should you know, validate the way somebody should, you know, manifest their upbringing. And answering this brother's question, you know, we talking about the origins of, because I don't know if this brother believes in evolution or not. I don't want to assume he do.
Right.
But, you know, no, this brother right here.
No, I know you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume he does, but, you know, to me it sounds like he believes in evolution. So, you know, we were all humans. We would all be the same. We are not all humans. Only Africans are humans. All non-Africans are only 93% human, 7% Neanderthal. Now, if you want your reference, go to the 2011 July issue of Molecular Biology and Evolution. And this research is coming out of the University of Montreal's Department of Pediatrics, as well as CHU St. Justine's Research Center. And you can...
I just want to ask you one question. I just want to ask you a question. Wait, let me ask him a question.
Hold on. Let me do my thing. I'm not here. Let me do my thing.
It was on this evolution thing.
Hold on.
Wait.
Now,
Let him
I'm going to shoot you the link, and I will play the video, but it's 3 minutes long. But all you got to do, if y'all want to see it at home or y'all listening, you can go right on Google, type in all non-Africans are not human. It's going to be a professor up on the thumbnail. You're going to see the PowerPoint in the European. So once again, you can also go to this July issue of molecular biology and evolution for this information. So now outside of that, the reason people can't get along is because we're not supposed to. Birds and bears ain't supposed to go to the same school. So the problem that everybody having is we have self-hypnotized ourselves that we are all the same. And that is why we are having so many problems, because we are not all the same. So we don't just have immediate differences that we see, such as height and weight. We have genetic differences, okay? Right. So this plays a part in our psychology. So white people, black people, Chinese people, Spanish people, Mexican people are all different. Now the brother also said Caucasians come from melanated beings. Just because you have melanin does not mean you're an African. He even stated the pheomelanin term. They do have pheomelanin. That's also, monkeys also have pheomelanin too. When they get get sunburned and skin cancer. So with that being said, you see when the baboon don't got no hair on his face turn red. When you see non-African people outside, they turn red. So when we use the term melanin, we have to understand the importance of neuromelanin. African people produce neuromelanin, and it's also
everyone does.
It's also stated when we talk about Caucasian people coming from melanated people, they're coming out of the Dravidian bloodline. The Dravidian is also Neanderthal. He's not African. So African people are not responsible for the origins of Europeans. Now, whether you believe in extraterrestrials, whether you believe in evolution, whether you believe God put us all here, whatever your belief is, the fact still remains that white people didn't come up out of African people. The white man did not come out of the African people.
Wait, hold on one second. Hold on. Let me ask you this. Because I've done a little research on what you're talking about. And they have said that modern man out of Africa, Homo sapien, did go over into Europe and had sex with Neanderthal. Is that true? Because that's what's being reported by scientists today.
This is my thing. There's a lot of curveballs thrown in science on purpose.
I believe
For example, when they taught for over 40 years, you know that they found the Piltdown Man. Everybody know what the Piltdown Man is. Yeah. They taught that bull crap for 40 years and it came out that it was false. Yeah. So what people got to understand is you're only going to know what the government wants you to know. And for me to prove my point, I just want to ask Kev a simple question. How old is Egypt?
I don't know if
No. How old? Like, let's say, when was Egypt founded? And you can give me a number like 4,005. How old is Egypt, would you say?
It can be anywhere from 4,000 to 10 to 11,000 years old.
Egypt is a 20,000 plus year old civilization. Yeah. Even when they say the pharaohs built the pyramid. Hold on, because we talking about information. Because we talking about what people believe. People believe. You draw your beliefs only from a small criteria of what you think you know. Yeah. So even when we talk about Egypt, people don't even know that Egypt is a 20,000-year-old plus civilization. It has been proven.
And that's at least.
At minimum.
That's
minimum. And there's geological evidence to prove this due to watering, not just on the outsides of the pyramids, but from the basement and the foundations. They had to pump gallons and gallons of water out. And this comes from an ancient river which no longer exists, and it dried up about 12,000 years ago, called the Urnil River. So even when they say, let's say, King Khufu and Sneferu, built the or King Khufu and Khafre built the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx. Well, if you saying these people existed 3,000, 4,000 years ago, and this right here is a 30,000 plus year old structure, they couldn't have built it. So even Egyptology, as we know, only admits fictitious history in a 6,000 year continent.
I agree.
To fit the understanding of Caucasian.
So
my point is this: when we talk about supplanting of people, from my research, all non-African people were genetically engineered in order to be supplanted on the natural inhabited lands of African people. This is why when you go to China, we can say Africans were here, but how are Chinese people here now? Even when we go to Europe, Africans were here. How are white people here now? When we come over here, Africans were here. How are white people here now? Where did all of these other races mysteriously come from who have no genetic link to Africans? And then I'm gonna end that on this. Even when we talk about DNA, African people have over 124 genes in them that Europeans consider alien genes because they're not found within any haplogroup of anybody on this planet. So when we talk about a haplogroup, long story short, a haplogroup is how many variations that you can get from two people's genetics. So like if I have a baby with a Chinese person, that might be haplogroup A. If I have a baby with a white person, it might be B. So out of all of the different races on this planet, right, there's only 167 different haplogroup variations. So we have 124 genes that don't fit any of those haplogroups. So where do they come from? So when we talking about human origins, you must learn to unlearn and reteach yourself.
Agreed.
When we think about even the Mayans was here when Egypt was here. And there's proof of that due to the Maya temple in Egypt, where there's a Mayan depiction on the ceiling. And it was documented that a tribe called the Naga Maya tribe, which Naga means tribe, Maya means water, came across the water and put that there. And the temple that is on is a 20 to 30,000 year old temple. So not only did the Egyptologists lie about the people that built it, they lied about the age of it. So everything that we think we know, we don't know. People didn't come from no monkeys. They didn't come from no Africans. History is a lie to 90%.
Okay, well, again, with all the stuff you're talking about, I know black people darker than this motherfucking phone who have had Caucasian babies. Completely blue-eyed,
I've seen that.
blonde hair. My homies, and this is not just one couple. These are two super dark-ass motherfuckers who have had non-melanated babies.
But bro. Listen, I don't want you to twist my point, bro. That's not my point.
Everybody.
That's not my point.
Okay, hold on.
Everybody, bring it down.
But my point is, when you talk about non-melanated people or Caucasian people don't come from.
Is it non-melanated or is it Neanderthal?
Whatever you talking about.
No. That's important, bro. That's important, bro.
That's important,
bro.
That's an
because you
important
can't say it
distinction.
came out with blonde hair and was light skinned, because it could still be more African. They got a whole tribe of people in Africa that's light skinned and they never had no European contact. So we want to know: did your two black friends who was not Neanderthal have a Neanderthal baby, or did they have a baby whose genetic characteristics are different from theirs, but they still have the genetic lineage?
So look, this is what I got to do. I got to do this. It's 12:50. We can't answer all these goddamn questions.
But I want to ask him. About the evolution. You say, do I believe in evolution? And you don't. Does a tree start out as a tree or a seed?
It starts out as a seed.
Okay, does it evolve into a tree?
Does a monkey turn into a man? That's called metamorphosis. You don't believe in evolution. You believe in X-Men.
I see. We got to do a part 2. That's what we got to do.
No, that's not that's evolution.
No, it's not. So if a dog was walking up the street and it turned into a human, that's not metamorphosis?
It doesn't turn into a human right then. Evolution is over time.
Nobody never seen evolution.
Evolve over time.
Do you know how old? Okay, now watch this.
This is what I got to do.
The oldest monkey ever found is not older than the oldest human ever found.
Cut the mics.
So how can the monkey evolve?
Cut the mics.
All right. So this is what I got to do, because we can't answer all the questions, and we're gonna have disagreements, and I'm okay with the disagreement. But God damn it, we can't talk over each other. Now it's 12:52. You know what that means? Show's over. Shit was fire though. Now it's my final thought.
I'm fucking show over. I still got some thoughts. Shit.
Now it's my final thought. So let me wrap it up. Let me summarize all of this, because I don't want it to deteriorate into, this point versus that point. I don't want that, because we got enough of that in our community. So I'm just gonna say this: Kevin, Jeff Brown, Zoe Williams, and young Pharaoh. Some talented motherfuckers in here. Some gifted cats. Kevin, one of the most well-researched cats I've ever met in my life. Jeff, one of the most well-read and funny.
Oh, stop. Keep going.
Okay, nigga. And funny cats. And this is a new brother that I just met, young Pharaoh. Man, that kid right there, no disrespect calling you a kid.
No, you're right. I don't. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This young man right here, like Jeff said earlier, to me represents the future. Mm-hmm. Because
looking like Ralph Tresvant with dreads.
I heard that a quadrillion times.
Sorry, you're not my girl. You Neanderthal bitch. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Nah, but I'm gonna say this, man. Number one, you want a young brother who renounces the status quo.
How about it?
Intellectually. You want that.
How about
So when you see that, listen, we ain't gonna agree on everything. We're not gonna agree on everything. But guess what? That motherfucker right there on the right path. To be 24, that motherfucker on the right path. And he right.
Right, I'll be 24 next month.
When's the last time you seen a 24-year-old who can recognize the immaturity in an old man? This motherfucker might be 24 chronologically.
Man, hit it on the head.
Hit it on the head.
And say more than that's just a goddamn fool over there.
Right. Might be 24 chronologically, but I can tell you that's an old ass soul right there. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
So for me, like I said, on the particulars, who's alien, who's not alien, who's genetically this, who
To be continued.
Well, that's whatever.
To be continued.
The fact is, to be that young and that knowledgeable, that's a gift. And we need more young men who don't mind saying, whatever your standard is, fuck that. See, that's what I get from you.
Yes.
That's right.
Whatever your standard is, fuck that.
And in young flesh.
Man, that means something. So that prompted me, like while he was talking, I made one note. Just one note. You got to listen, watch this. One note. And that note is, our talent as black people is not all we have. See, what happened is, because we broken, the knowledge was taken out of us. The only thing we had to hold on to was our talent. So from our talent came jazz, came hip hop, came R&B, so now, oh shit, did you see the Girl Trip movie? Everything is based on talent.
Right.
And that's how we celebrate our biggest celebrities, talent. Jay-Z, did you hear 444? Oh my goodness. Did you hear Lemonade? Jesus Christ. That's where our intellect isn't as celebrated. You know why our intellect isn't as celebrated? Because our intellect is rooted in the oppressor. The oppressor signs off as the authority for this reality.
God damn it.
He's the authority.
That's right. He's right.
So he signs off.
Talk to you when I'm high.
So guess what? You're not smart unless you have a degree.
Right.
Which is a lie on a sheet of paper.
You see?
On a receit.
A lie on a sheet of paper.
You see? So now we got to push a different kind of understanding. He said it earlier, 2023. He said perspective. We got to push a different perspective.
That's it.
The different perspective is, you are not ideologically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, religiously, culturally validated by the system of oppression.
That's right.
That's where we got to start going.
That's right.
Because so many of us extrapolate meaning from those validations. Then, when we come with a young Pharaoh, what we then get as a response to that are micro invalidations. Wait a minute, where did he go to school? Well, who is he? Where is he from? What gives him the right to say whatever he's saying?
What they had to do for Dr. Umar on that show.
You understand?
Yeah.
Micro invalidations. So then guess what? People won't listen because the system didn't validate. Watch The Matrix. Watch The Matrix. The architect told Neo, your ass is gonna go back and pick some niggas and pick some women after we destroy the motherfucking
so like
Zion.
6 times.
And then after we take the code out of you.
Yep.
You number 6, my nigga.
Yep.
You the 6th
Six
savior.
nigga.
Don't get cocky, my
Right.
nigga. You number
Back up,
6.
Jesus. What about Zoroaster?
So again, look at our leaders. Look at everybody who claim to be somebody to us. They all connected to the system in some way, and they got to go back and report to the system and feed the code of information back to the system.
This is what I told him.
Do you understand? So, do I agree with everything young Pharaoh said? No. But does that matter? No. I agree with him.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Absolutely.
fact that he here,
Right.
he dropping this information.
I'm the Hulk. Just because I can't fly don't mean he can't be an Avenger. How about that?
Exactly. Exactly. We are more than just talent. Black people are more than rhythm. We are more than movement. Dude, we are intellectual giants. We are consciousness. We are part of the fabric of the reality of all that is. Now, because we lost that, it doesn't mean it's gone. Lost don't mean gone. You understand what I'm saying? It can be rediscovered, it can be reactivated, and it can be
dormant.
appropriated.
It's dormant.
It's dormant. It can be turned back
Right.
on.
Misappropriated don't mean gone.
That's why I got him here. That's why I appreciate the brother for taking the time to come here. Listen, I'm Zoe Williams, and that was my final thought. I appreciate this show. This shit was powerful, brother.
Thank you.
Come on, man. Anytime you in LA, you got a home here, man. You can come chop it up.
Where you from?
I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, man, he out here doing lectures.
Yeah.
Okay.
This shit was fire. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. We gotta go. I love all y'all. Y'all support all the black businesses.
RealNuggets.com.
Holla at the voice of reason tonight. I'ma holla at y'all deuces.
Peace.